Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Morgan Wolf. Just in this afternoon, we are finding out that Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is suing social media giant TikTok. He says that the company violates Minnesota consumer protection laws by preying on young people with addictive algorithms and features. Ellison filed a similar lawsuit against Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company. That was back in 2023. Ellison is also accusing TikTok now, though, of lying of their safety and data security on its platform. So we have a team on this story today to make sure that you have all the information you need. Tune into KARE 11 News at 4, 5, and 6 for the latest. Happening right now in Benton County, opening statements for the man charged in the shooting of 5 officers nearly 2 years ago. The big question isn't who shot first. Both sides say that it was Carl Holmberg. But you can see him here in October 2023 following that shootout and standoff with police. As Holmberg now faces charges of attempted first-degree murder of an officer, we have learned questions about self-defense will play a huge role in this trial. Holmberg's attorney says that their client fired his rifle 28 times out of, quote, fear response when the law enforcement knocked, then kicked down his door during a search warrant for drugs. 5 officers will testify throughout the trial how they were allegedly struck by Holmberg's bullets and left seriously hurt. Others will see on the stand, including Holmberg's wife, Doreen, who pleaded guilty to selling drugs from their home. We'll also see the defendant himself. The judge said that Holmberg must testify to follow through with his self-defense claim. Happening right now, evacuation orders across the southeastern United States as Hurricane Erin swirls in the Atlantic Ocean. Just take a look at those waves. This is a live look right now from Delaware. You can see pretty ominous looking with the clouds out there and the nasty waves. That storm is expected to swipe the southeastern U.S. coast. The National Weather Service says that East Coast beaches could see dangerous rip currents in the next several days, with the waves up to potentially 15 feet high. Dozens of swimmers have already been rescued over the past 2 days, as forecasters expect coastal flooding will begin there today and then continue through Thursday. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist is in North Carolina's Outer Banks, which is expected to get the brunt of the storm.
Evacuation orders are already in place here for Ocracoke Island and Hatteras Island on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. The tourists are already gone for the most part. Residents are now being told that they need to get out today. The big concern here from officials in these 2 counties where these islands are is that there's going to be such an inundation of water from Hurricane Erin, water that's pushed onshore, potentially flooding out roads. And I say roads plural, but really there's just one main road that runs along the islands here, Highway 12. And if that road washes out in certain places, as it's expected to do, that would mean that people who stay on the islands are cut off from the mainland, potentially for days if the road impact is significant enough. There's also concern about waves here reaching 15, 20 feet high. There are some oceanfront homes here on the Outer Banks. We saw one down the beach here just yesterday. It's an unoccupied home, but it's up on pilings, and if those waves get to 20 feet high, it's entirely possible that homes like that could be knocked off their pilings, pulled out into the ocean, or sent farther inland, creating some danger there. These are all concerns that officials have at this point, even though we know Hurricane Erin is not going to make landfall here in North Carolina. At the same time, folks who had planned to stay on these islands are telling us that they don't believe there's going to be a major impact. If there is, they're ready for it. We're told they've hunkered down with fresh water, with food. They're prepared potentially to go without power, they say, and they're prepared to do that at least for several days in some cases. And so now the area is really in a wait-and-see posture, really, because we know the tropical storm watch is in effect. We know there's a storm surge watch in effect as well, and coastal flooding is a big expectation, not just here in North Carolina, but really up and down the eastern seaboard from Massachusetts all the way to Florida. And so all these people are going to be watching to see exactly what Hurricane Erin brings to the east coast of the U.S. Back to you.
Developing right now, no one is hurt after a ship exploded this morning near Key Bridge in Maryland. Look at the fire there, and if you wait, then you see the black smoke just billowing. So according to Baltimore city officials, the fire on the ship has been contained now, and investigators are trying to figure out what caused that explosion. Today, we have an exclusive interview with a man whose 79-year-old partner was hit by a stray bullet while sitting at her dining room table. Now, this was just one incident in what was a very violent Saturday night in Minneapolis. Police investigating now 4 separate shootings that hurt 4 people. I spoke to that partner who says that he's still in shock.
Wild morning glory, which I try to get under the trees because they seem to grow well.
Every bloom, every petal is a symbol.
A little bit of coneflower.
Of Stephen Ostis' love for his Powderhorn neighborhood home. For 2 decades, he has planted around this house,
Including the weeds. And some of them flower beautifully.
creating a sanctuary in the busy city of Minneapolis.
It's a nice hobby to have.
After Saturday night,
Yeah, it was quite a shock.
that sense of sanctuary
Came through right here. And you'll see how small that is.
now violated.
And we heard a bang. And then my partner came running over to where I was and said, something has happened. And she had like a large patch of blood.
Stephen's 79-year-old partner was shot while sitting at their kitchen table.
When we cleared the blood away, I saw what appeared to be a bullet hole, and I thought, that's probably what it is, a shot. They were able to do surgery. They had to remove part of her colon, and right now she's probably in the hospital another 3 days or so. I know it's happened in other parts of the city. I know people have died from stray bullets. You don't think it's going to happen to you.
Though MPD data shows that shootings are down compared to this time last year, Stephen believes other crimes like theft, drug use, and racing in the streets are uprooting the community near Lake Street.
But a lot is happening here, and I don't think it's being addressed the way it should be addressed.
As one family is left to heal, they're hoping their sanctuary can flourish and flower again.
Once in a while, I do think about moving. It sounds like a daunting task. I have to think seriously about what I'm going to do here. Now to Washington, D.C., the White House is working on the next steps towards ending Russia's war with Ukraine. The president of that country, joined by several top European leaders, urging President Trump to push Russian President Putin for a ceasefire. Ukraine's President Zelensky also trying to secure a commitment from the U.S. to help protect Ukraine from future attacks. Now President Trump says that he is working on a trilateral meeting between him, Zelensky, and Putin. Here's Zelensky on the possibility of a meeting with Putin.
What? Is there a date for you to meet with President Putin?
The date?
Yes.
No, we don't have any date.
No
we don't have any date. We just confirmed after this productive meeting with President and then with all our colleagues, with the partners, we confirmed that we are ready for a trilateral meeting. And if Russia proposed to President of the United States bilateral, and then we will see the result of bilateral, and then it can be the trilateral.
Don't lose on what you think is a Labubu, because it could not be. The Consumer Protection Safety Commission says knockoff plush dolls and keychains can be dangerous for kids. Officials say the so-called Lafufus are posing now a choking risk. Some are small enough to fit in the mouth, and others are poorly made and can break apart into small pieces. Officials are warning not to buy them, stay away from the fakes, and stop using them if you do have them. Well, in just days, the Great Minnesota Get-Together kicks off. And if you drive to the fair, be ready for some big changes. Raya Katena is here with the updates that could cost you before you even get through the gates.
Take a stroll through Falcon Heights.
It's pretty mellow.
And you'll see the lush trees and quiet streets that neighbors say make this city of about 5,000 easy to love.
Oh, love it.
And difficult to leave.
Otherwise, we would have been gone a long time ago.
It's like a very peaceful neighborhood, but like this is where the fair happens.
People in Falcon Heights say they're used to their quiet neighborhoods transforming during the Great Minnesota Get Together.
It gets insanely busy.
Oh yeah, this is the main thoroughfare for pedestrians.
But this year, something new is taking shape.
We got a post over there.
144 freshly installed posts will be used to display signs about the city's new parking system during the state fair. Through a partnership with the app Park Mobile, Falcon Heights will, for the first time, charge drivers $25 to park on certain streets near the fairgrounds from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
All of our costs, our signage.
City Administrator Jack Linehan says the goal is to help the city recoup some of the costs associated with hosting the fair, from picking up litter to installing portable bathrooms and everything in between.
We don't get a tax from the fair. We don't have kind of any type of support in that regard, so we're hoping that this can kind of help offset some of those fees.
The city is providing one parking pass to each of the roughly 600 impacted households, with another pass available by request. Falcon Heights has also hired 12 parking ambassadors to answer drivers' questions and report violations.
Basically, August 15th to September 15th, all of our fines double for parking, so it's about a $100 ticket.
Some neighbors say the new system brings up questions.
I feel like that's gonna complicate things for a lot of people like trying to come to the fair.
I don't know if people are going to want to pay for parking.
But only time will tell if it's a success.
Find out when they count the money.
All right, well, stick with us. We have more news and weather coming up after the break.